My daughter-in-law mocked me as uneducated in front of her friends. Can you imagine feeling so utterly invisible, so utterly erased, that the people you love most, your own son, his wife, start to treat you like a piece of forgotten furniture? And then, one day, they laugh at you, call you uneducated to a room full of strangers, and in that instant, something snaps inside you, something ancient and steady, and you realize you have to remind them exactly who you are. For years, that's who they thought I was. The quiet woman who folded laundry, set the table, who knew when to leave a room without being asked. They never bothered to wonder who I was before I became someone's mother, someone's wife, someone's shadow. They liked that I was convenient, forgettable. My daughter-in-law especially. She loved it when I melted into the background of her photos, blending into the corners like wallpaper from another era. So when she stood there in front of her friends and laughed at me, called me uneducated as if it was a punchline, I didn't argue. I didn't flinch, I just smiled, and I walked away. But something deep inside me shifted, and I knew exactly what I had to do. I went to my room, pulled out an old box I hadn't touched in years, and retrieved the truth. Because sometimes, the loudest thing a woman can do is remind you of who she used to be before she let the world squeeze her into silence. I'd lived in that house for almost 5 years. It was supposed to be temporary, just a short stay after I sold my old home, until I figured out what was next. But life has a way of folding itself into corners, of settling into patterns you never meant to repeat. My son insisted at first. He said it made no sense for me to live alone when they had the space. And back then, it truly felt like a generous offer, like family. In the beginning, I helped with everything. I'd cook breakfast before they woke up, fold laundry quietly, leave neat piles outside their bedroom doors. I'd pick up groceries. I made myself invisible, the way only older women seem to learn with time, present, useful, but never loud enough to disturb the rhythm of younger lives. But as the months slipped into years, that invisibility stopped being a choice. It became an expectation. I'd sit at the kitchen table in the mornings, reading an old paperback while they scrolled through their phones, exchanging plans I was never a part of. There was a time my son used to ask for my advice. Now he barely looked up from his screen. And she, my daughter-in-law, well, she treated me like part of the furniture. Politely, distantly, occasionally with a forced smile, the kind people use with strangers they don't really trust. She called me mom sometimes, but only when guests were around. Otherwise, it was just her. Not in a mean-spirited way, just cold, as if acknowledging my presence was an inconvenience. I told myself not to take it personally. After all, it was their home now. They had careers to grow, dinners to host, friendships to nurture. I was just a placeholder from another time, a relic who didn't understand the language of their ambition, or their jokes, or the way they measured self-worth by LinkedIn titles and brunch reservations. I tried not to mind. I made sure dinner was always ready when they came home. Pot roast, lasagna, slow-cooked stews that filled the whole house with warmth. Sometimes I'd hear her sigh before she even reached the kitchen, complaining under her breath about heavy food, about cutting, carbs. I'd offer to make something else. She'd say it was fine. She always said it was fine, but her face told me otherwise. She'd rearrange things in the fridge after I organized them. She replaced my dish soap with eco-friendly brands that made my hands crack. She started labeling the spice jars, not because I forgot them, but because she didn't like the way I placed them. Little things, really, but they added up like paper cuts, small silent dismissals that reminded me of where I stood. Full story on the channel, link below, click now and watch what happened next.